Microwaves cause cancer. There's a lot of fear around radiation, but microwaves use a type called non-ionizing radiation, which doesn't have enough energy to damage DNA or cause cancer. Microwaves simply cause water molecules in food to vibrate, creating heat. According to the World Health Organization, there's no evidence that microwave use increases cancer risk. Non-ionizing radiation differs greatly from the harmful ionizing radiation found in X-rays or UV light. Studies show microwave ovens are safe when used properly. Cooking with them can even help preserve nutrients, as they cook food quickly without much water. Cats and dogs are colorblind. It's often said that our pets see the world in grayscale, but that's not true. Dogs and cats see blues and yellows quite well, though reds and greens appear more muted, almost grayish. This limited color spectrum is due to having fewer color-detecting cells, cones, in their eyes than humans. Dogs have around 2 types of cones, dichromatic vision, while humans have 3, trichromatic. This doesn't seem to hold them back. Both animals excel in detecting movement and seeing in low light, traits that are far more useful to their hunting ancestors. Researchers believe their vision evolved for hunting, rather than identifying colors. Humans only use 10% of their brains. If we only use 10%, we'd be severely limited in our abilities. Brain imaging techniques, like MRI scan, reveal that nearly every part of our brain is active at various times throughout the day. While not all areas are working at once, specific tasks activate different brain regions. Memory, movement, emotions, and senses all require different neural circuits. Even seemingly mundane tasks require significant brain power. For instance, walking while talking activates numerous parts of the brain. This myth likely emerged from early brain research, but modern neuroscience has debunked it. Lightning never strikes the same place. Lightning strikes the same place multiple times, especially tall structures like the Empire State Building, which gets hit by lightning about 25 times a year. Storms create ideal conditions for tall structures to be struck multiple times, as they provide a clear path for electrical discharge. Roy Sullivan, a park ranger, holds the record for the most times a person has been struck by lightning, an astonishing 7 times. Despite the odds, Sullivan survived each strike, earning him the nickname the human lightning rod. Humans have the most DNA. Though humans have around 3 billion base pairs of DNA, some species far exceed this. For instance, the lungfish has about 130 billion base pairs, 40 times more than humans. Plants like wheat also have larger genomes. It's a reminder that DNA quantity doesn't equate to complexity, as even simple organisms can have surprisingly large genomes due to gene duplication and other factors. Christopher Columbus discovered America. It's a common story in school textbooks, but it's far from the full truth. Indigenous civilizations had lived across the Americas for thousands of years before Columbus's 1492 voyage. Artifacts, mounds, and advanced societies prove indigenous cultures thrived long before European contact. For example, Cahokia, near present-day St. Louis, was home to tens of thousands of people in the 13th century and had complex architecture and trade systems. Plus, Norse explorer Leif Erikson likely reached North America around 1000 AD, settling briefly in what's now Newfoundland, Canada. Columbus might have discovered the Americas for Europe, but he was far from the first human to set foot. The Great Wall is visible from space. While it's massive, the Great Wall isn't distinctly visible to the naked eye from space. Astronauts have repeatedly stated it's extremely difficult to see without visual aids. According to NASA, the wall's color and narrow width blend into its surroundings, making it much harder to distinguish from space compared to airports or highways, which are often more noticeable. Satellite imagery has confirmed that while some human-made structures are visible, including cities lit up at night, the Great Wall simply doesn't stand out as a long, continuous line. Bulls get angry at the color red. Bulls are actually red-green colorblind, so they don't react to the color red. Instead, they respond to the movement of the matador's cape, known as a muleta. Bulls are highly sensitive to motion, which makes the waving cape, regardless of its color, provoke their charge. The color red was likely chosen for tradition and to mask bloodstains in bullfighting, not because it triggers aggression. Studies in animal behavior confirm that animals, including bulls, react to motion cues far more than specific colors. Everest is the tallest mountain. Everest is certainly the highest point above sea level at 29,029 feet. But if you measure from the base of a mountain to its peak, Mauna Kea in Hawaii surpasses it. Rising over 33,000 feet from its underwater base, Mauna Kea's summit sits at just 13,803 feet above sea level. Humans only have 5 senses. In reality, humans have more than the 5 traditional senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Scientists generally agree there are additional senses such as equilibrioception, balance, proprioception, body position, and nociception, pain perception. Our inner ear's fluid helps us detect balance, while receptors throughout the body detect temperature changes. Some experts argue we have up to 20 different senses. These extra senses are crucial for daily life, though they often go unnoticed unless they malfunction. Hair and nails continue to grow after death. This eerie myth arises from the dehydration process that occurs after death. When the body loses moisture, the skin retracts, making hair and nails appear longer. This illusion isn't real growth. Without blood flow, hair and nails can't grow. Forensic scientists use this knowledge to help determine time of death in some cases, as these changes can be mistakenly interpreted by those unaware of the dehydration effect. Sugar causes diabetes. Eating sugar alone isn't the direct cause of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder, while type 2 is influenced by a range of factors including genetics, lifestyle, and overall diet. Though a high sugar diet can contribute to weight gain and obesity, which are risk factors for type 2 diabetes, sugar itself doesn't directly cause the disease. The American Diabetes Association advises that balanced, mindful sugar intake is part of a healthy lifestyle and doesn't inherently lead to diabetes. Fish don't feel pain. Research increasingly suggests that fish can indeed feel pain, though likely in a different way than humans do. Fish have nociceptors, pain receptors, that respond to potentially harmful stimuli. Experiments have shown that fish exhibit avoidance behaviors and stress responses when injured. While their experience of pain may differ due to simpler nervous systems, studies indicate that fish are capable of suffering, challenging the long-held belief that they're immune to pain. Alcohol warms you up. While alcohol may make you feel warmer by dilating blood vessels near the skin, it actually lowers core body temperature. This dilation causes heat to leave the body faster, putting drinkers at risk of hypothermia in cold environments. So, while a drink may give you a warm, flushed feeling, it doesn't provide true warmth. In fact, many mountaineers and explorers avoid alcohol in cold conditions to stay safe. Napoleon was short. Despite popular belief, Napoleon Bonaparte was about 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 7 inches, which was average height for Frenchmen of his time. This myth may stem from British propaganda that portrayed him as diminutive to make him seem less threatening. It's also possible that translation errors between French and English measurements contributed to the myth, "You shouldn't wake a sleepwalker." Sleepwalking, or somnambulism, occurs during the deepest stages of non-REM sleep, usually in the first half of the night. Because they're asleep, sleepwalkers are unaware of their surroundings and can be prone to accidents. Waking a sleepwalker is generally safe. They might be confused or disoriented upon waking and may not immediately recognize where they are. However, there's no scientific evidence that waking a sleepwalker will cause them harm or result in a heart attack or mental shock, as some myths suggest. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends that, instead of abruptly waking a sleepwalker, gently guiding them back to bed can be the safest approach to avoid startling them and reduce the risk of injury.